Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to season 2 of the Monie Podcast. I'm so excited that you're here. Season 2 is going to be in full swing, and today we're in for something special. My guest today is someone I deeply admire, Nicole Salmon, author, pastor, speaker, mentor, and the woman behind so many powerful messages about purpose and authenticity. She's the author of Speak Your Way to Purpose and her latest, Courage and Confidence. And she's been helping women across the world step out of comfort and into their God-given identity. Today, we're going to get real about faith, doubt, identity, legacy, and how to live boldly in the calling God's placed on your life. Please help me welcome my guest, Nicole. Hey, Nicole.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome. It's such a blessing to have you here.
It's so good to be here. I haven't seen you in a long time, but yeah,
I know. And we met on this type of occasion, but it's going to be good.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to have you on the podcast today to talk about where you're coming from, your journey, and how it all started. Tell us about your journey. What was life like before you embraced your calling?
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's such a big question to answer. I'm never really sure where to start when I get asked that. I think that I'll just share what comes to mind.
Yes.
What comes to mind is a little girl who was raised in a very strict household. A little girl who was often told that things that were a natural part of her God design were inappropriate, right? You're told to keep quiet, sit still, that you're rude, just all, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like a distinct, like a distinct memory that I have is around, I'd always find, even at a really young age, I'd be finding really efficient ways to get things done quickly.
Yes.
But it wasn't labeled that way. It was labeled as lazy. Lazy people always will find shortcut, that kind of thing.
Yes, we know that.
Yeah, and it wasn't until adulthood and being processed and coming into purpose alignment that I understood my gifts and talents and all of those things. But I think I would describe the journey before that as really being one where very regimented, very much boxed in to fit everyone's expectation of what it meant to be appropriate.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see? Appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Now, around that time, when did you first feel God nudging you towards ministry, leadership, or speaking?
Elementary school.
Elementary school? That's young.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know if I think you were at my first book launch. I don't know if you remember.
I was.
Yeah. So one of my high school friends were there, and she stood up and she told a story about me being in the 4th and 5th grade and holding Bible study at recess and preaching in the playground at lunchtime. So it was early. I mean, I wouldn't have used the words calling in ministry, but it was very evident. And I always knew there was something different about me. And so I would say as early as elementary school.
Wow. That's young.
Yeah.
That's really good, though.
Yeah.
And how did your earlier nonprofit community work shape the way you approach your current role?
100%. Nothing's wasted with God.
Yes.
And that's what I love about him. Whether you spent 10 years as a ballerina and then you get called into, nothing is wasted. And so those were the years of really putting structure to how I work with clients like I do now as a purpose alignment coach. I say they don't know, but they financed ministry for me because it's where I was paid to become a certified life skills coach.
Yeah,
it was there. And so a lot of the training, the assessments, and all of the things that I use with my clients now, those years either paid for it or they were the field that I got to develop. Yeah.
That's awesome. I have your book, and I really enjoyed it, the Speak Your Way to Purpose. What prompted you to write that book, and what's one powerful message you hope people we'll take from that.
Yeah. So, God, like I'm real feisty. So when God speaks to me, He speaks to me like straight, direct, sir. Yeah. The same way I get it. The same way I dealt with. So He don't play, right, when it comes to me. And I remember, like, I went to Him like brokenhearted and all sad about something, and He was like, "Why are you coming to me about this again?" He said, "Have I not given you the words of life that have pulled you out of some of your deepest, darkest situations?" And He said, "Write it down and go back to those words and then speak them back to yourself." And so it was that season where He's just like, you don't have to wait for Sunday morning for an altar call. You don't have to wait for your therapy session. You don't have to wait for your bestie to answer your call. You can be the prophetic voice to turn around and speak back into your own life. And so, and so I started writing the lessons. And before I knew it, it was like, okay, I'm not just writing these for me. I'm writing them to help someone else to begin to have the words to speak purpose, speak destiny back into their own lives.
Yeah, because it was a really good book. I remember that book, and just the positive affirmations, they were just so timely. You just go through the next page and you just feel like, oh, this is me right here. This one's for me, So the next book that you have, Courage and Confidence. Yeah, I love that title. Love the title. It's your new work. Can you unpack what unboxing who you were created to be means for you and for some of our listeners?
So for years, God had me and has me in the book of Genesis, because everything starts at the beginning, right? So you have Adam and Eve in the garden, in perfection, no sin, naked, enjoying life, enjoying each other, enjoying God. Sin enters the world, and the very first thing they do is they hide, and they cover themselves. And as we read through Scripture into the New Testament, into the Gospel, we see that humanity continues to be plagued with that same Adamic nature, which is to hide and to cover ourselves. And so unboxing, the concept of unboxing, it is a cry and an invitation to sit with ourselves, and more importantly, sit with Holy Spirit and really just go through all of it. The things we were taught in church, early messages we received in our childhood, voices that spoke to us at the job that shaped our identity, and now we see ourselves through the lens of a boss who hated us instead of as the victor that we really are. Like, this is an invitation to sit with God and unbox all of that. Is this something I'm keeping? Is this something I need to develop? Or is this something that needs to go?
It's almost like you're moving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have those different boxes. You label them where things are going, what's in, what's out. I love that. Really, really love that. Today, many people struggle with identity and comparing, fearing, doubting. How do you help someone move from fear to get the clarity in their identity in Christ?
Truth, right? The Scripture talks about perfect love casts out all fear. And so when we understand what truth is, so I in my coaching practice, I use something that I developed called the purpose clarity quotient. Purpose clarity quotient. And what it is for us to be able to see clearly without fear, requires three alignments, right alignments: how we see ourselves, how we see our God, and how we see our situation. When any of those three come out of alignment, really we're walking in fear, but more specifically, when how we see ourselves is out of alignment, what we experience is insecurity. When how we see our God is out of alignment, what gets introduced is doubt. And when how we see a situation is also in wrong alignment or perspective, what it introduces is inaction. Right? And so what I do is I introduce truth, the love of God, the truth that is in His Word, about who we are, about humanity, about a lot of the misconceptions we hold. So a lot of the principles that I use, even though it's faith-based, I work with companies that are not Christian, same principles, because God's Word, it applies everywhere. It applies everywhere.
Love that. just taking me back to having you like do your sermons, like, you know, when you're on just the pulpit, just doing your sermons, just the way you're speaking and the words that you're saying. It's just bringing me back to that. Really love that. You mentioned faith. Like, we all go through that valley. Can you share a moment where your faith was tested and what pulled you through?
So what comes to mind is, and I recently wrote about this, I believe for Hallmark the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
Hallmark cards?
Yeah.
That's make it rich.
So they have a blog.
Nice.
Called it's Mahogany. They have a life.
Yeah.
So I'm one of the contributors for that blog.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I got to write about my experience around loss when you talk about faith. And, you know, we come from similar faith backgrounds, charismatic, Pentecostal, tongue talking,
exactly.
You know, foot stomping, Holy Ghost sanctified church, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I don't know if you know this bit about my story, but when I was probably around 15, my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer. And so, after like years of battling with it, you know, like faith was high, like they were bringing the prayer cloths and we declare and decree and declare that you shall live and not die. And everywhere she went, she got that prophetic word, even in rooms where nobody knew her, no one knew she was sick. What's going on here? God wants to heal. He said, you shall live and not die.
Yes.
But then guess what? She died. So then as a young woman and young in my faith, like for years that rocked me to the floor.
Yeah.
I still loved the Lord. I still believe that he was a healer. I was listening to Healer by Hillsongs before I came here. Still believe all of that. But what that did for me was I just thought maybe it just wasn't for me. Like healing is for other people, but it's not for me and those that I love. And, you know, when other people needed, especially as I started to step into, you know, full-time ministry and people would step forward to healing, I would kind of remove myself because I'm like, maybe I don't have enough faith and I don't want to be in proximity. I want this person to get their healing. So maybe I need to not be in the atmosphere. And it was, you know, again, through conversation with Holy Spirit that he said to me, listen, when that word was not a lie, you shall live and not die, he's like, it wasn't a lie. He's like, that word was true. In the last days of my mom's battle with cancer, there was, like, my parents were separated.
Yes.
I got to see them sit, forgive, have conversations I couldn't really hear, but I could see from a distance what was happening and see reconciliation happen. I overheard conversations of I'm sorry. Like, God was getting my mother's heart ready so she could live and not die. And like, that just like, again, truth, right? Truth gets introduced. The love of God introduced the truth of that situation so that my faith in him as healer could be renewed and restored. And so, you know, life is real. Stuff happens. We question God. We question all kinds of things. But God is not a man that he should lie. And whatever he says is true. We can trust it and it must come to pass.
Oh my gosh. Love that. That is such a true testimony. Really, really love that. You know, as a woman in ministry, leadership, what are some of the challenges that you yourself face and how you handled them?
Wow. So I know you'll relate to this because I know one of the topics you're passionate about is about dating and singleness and all that stuff. So this was throwing no shade at anyone, but my experience was when I was single in ministry, particularly as like a minister and a preacher, I found that I wasn't as readily accepted by the other women, like pastors' wives and leaders' wives, like. But the moment I got married, it was like this whole like secret society. Like this welcome. It was like I wasn't a threat anymore. Like it's it's like chill. Like nobody.
It is though.
It's so chill. Like nobody after your husband. Like you know what I mean? Because I mean it's a male dominated space.
Yes.
A lot of times you've seen it. I'm sitting on a row, but like all men, and I'm like the only woman and the youngest there, right? So. And back then, you never have on as much, couple about 10, 15 pounds lighter, and the body was bodying, and I don't know if that was the problem. I don't know if that was, no, but in all seriousness, like it was very challenging to walk out that space as a female. And I still do. And I think, but one of the things I love, my husband, Elon, shout out to him. Mm-hmm. He is such a champion of the call of my life, and such a great covering, and so I find
he's like your biggest cheerleader, just the way he is around you and what he does, and he's always like, I'm just like, oh my God,
he is
really love that for you. He
is, and it brings sadly, that's needed, that's needed in some spaces, yes, not all spaces, but he does not block that shine, and he does not take away from that, and he's not intimidated by that, and he's just always like, go. And so, yeah, man, I'm just ready.
That was a big challenge. I could see that. I could see why that would be, it's just weird how you mentioned the secret society, just welcome. So how do you balance being, on ministry, speaking, coaching with rest, your self-care and spiritual health overall? How do you balance?
Yeah. So I'm a big, so annually, one of the things that I do is I have this workshop, this work day that's called the Purpose-Driven Calendar Planning.
Yes.
I do it every November.
All right.
And what it is me teaching women the planning system that I kind of run by. Really, I call it, over the years, it's evolved to me calling it a stewardship, because really it's time stewardship. Yes. And years ago, when I was still in my 9 to 5, I woke up one morning, I was not feeling well. I stepped in the shower. I felt lightheaded. I had to grab onto the wall, but I still kept going because I'm like, I have things to do, right? I go to work. I'm having this sharp pain in my chest through to my back. And I'm like doing this all day, pressing in. And then it was towards the end of the day, I was doing a performance review with one of my employees, and she was like, "Are you okay?" And my response was, "Yeah, I just have a pain in my chest." And
nothing to worry about.
Yeah, right? And she's like, "I think you need to go to the hospital." I'm like, "I think not. I don't have time for ER rooms to sit there all day for them to tell me nothing's wrong with me." Long story short, they ended up being called. They came. The ambulance took me away at work. I was so stubborn. So stubborn. I did not want to get on the stretcher because I was just too cute for all of that. I was like,
I'll walk in the front.
Yeah, I'm like, you guys are going to wheel me out in front of all the staff and like the clients. I'm just like, and they're like, if something happens, it's a liability. Anyways, I get to the hospital, they do all the tests. And while I was fine, the doctor was like, what you experienced was a dress rehearsal to a cardiac episode. And he was like, if you don't change something, the next time I see you, you have a cardiac issue. And the thing that he told me I needed to change, like most people would think maybe it's your diet, lose weight, or you need to like be more active, but it wasn't. It was about time and rest, how I was using my time. He's like, you need rest. I think he recommended that I took 3 or 4 weeks off of work. I didn't.
You didn't?
Confession, I
didn't. You didn't.
I didn't. Like, I'm better at that now, but back then I did.
You were like,
I can't take that much time. I'll give maybe a week.
Okay. I was like, how long did you do?
Maybe a week. I'm like, again, I have things to do. But anyways, what came out of that was, again, Holy Spirit was like, I'm just like, I have so much to do. And, the infamous line, I don't have enough hours in the day. And he said, stop. Do not say there is not enough hours in a day, because what you're saying is that I don't do all things well. I put the right amount of time. Yes. I put time and space and all the things rightly. He's like, the issue is how you manage that time.
That's me right there.
And he took me on a process of learning how to say no, I call the art of saying no, how to set healthy boundaries that weren't about keeping myself in or people out, but it was about how do I prioritize what God is asking of me in this season. And my life has radically changed. And what I found in becoming a steward of my time is that I actually got more done.
Yeah?
I actually started producing more. That was when I pushed the book out. I was doing ministry. And ever since then, I'm able to do the things because I'm a ninja when it comes to my time. I don't talk about punctuality, but I mean the literal economics of how I spend my time rest all. I don't wait until it's on the calendar.
Yeah, you're way ahead of
I'm
things.
yeah. So ever since that, and it took a few more scares and a few more episodes, but really, like, he taught me a system for planning and being a steward of my time. And so now I teach that to other women.
I'm gonna have to come to that class. Good. I need some help with my time.
Yeah.
I really do. And I find it just always catches up to me. And then at the end I complain. I'm like, where did the time go? Like, you think you have all this time and you want to plan certain things, but I'm not good with time at all.
My kids, they hate it. They were all pouty because they're like, we don't get enough screen time and time with our friends. And then I have a big old dry erase calendar, and I pull it up and I'm like, oh really? Well, let's do a time audit. So on Mondays, and then by the time I get to Wednesday, they're like, okay, I guess we have more free time than we realize. So yeah, it's really something I live by, and for my family, they would probably say sadly that they have to live by it too
as well. They just
been baptized into it. There's no choice. There's no choosing.
I love that. I'm definitely gonna sign up for that. You said it's in November.
Yeah,
gotta check that out because I really like that. As someone, I don't really rest. I'm juggling too many activities, and rest is like the last thing on my mind. So I definitely want to implement that. Now let's talk a little bit about your faith, love, and relationships. You've been married a while now. What's one piece of marriage advice that you wish someone gave you before you said I do?
I think oh, that's hard. One piece. Okay,
little one piece.
So it's kind of like an infomercial, because I have a lot of unpartnered friends, and they ask what do you have to say about that now? I think that people romanticize marriage.
Yeah.
As like, people romanticize marriage, and we always hear married people say marriage is hard.
Yes.
Right?
I've heard that a lot. That's
but everything is hard.
Yeah.
And I think the advice I would give is to understand that whatever your portion is, whether it's single, whether it's, you're in your dating season or you're married, it's all hard. It has blessings and it has burdens. You just have to choose your heart, and understand. Like, it's not an answer. It's not a solution. It's not the prize. I don't feel that it's the prize.
No.
Our first vacation that we went on together, when I was single, my girlfriends would want to plan a girlfriend's trip, and I'm like, I'm tired of the girlfriend's trip. I don't want to go on no vacation in life with no bikini with my girlfriends. I want to be with a man. I want my romantic walks on the beach. Like, I'm tired of the girlfriend business now, right?
It's true.
So I go on the first vacation with my husband.
Yes.
And it was just okay. It's not the same. It's not the same. And I saw these two young girls on vacation. I was like, and it reminded me of my best friend. I was like, oh, look at that. Yeah, it was nice. It was different.
Yes.
So yeah, it's different. I would say marriage. That's it. Marriage is not better. It's different. And so whether you're single or you're married, you're going to have to learn how to hold your heart. Hold your heart. Yeah.
I love that. It's different.
Yeah.
I remember, I don't know if you remember this, but there was a time where you were preaching at church, and before you got into your sermon, you said that you were declaring this time.
Remember.
You're in white.
Yeah, in white.
We had a picture. Oh my God.
I have a picture of me after that service.
Before she started her sermon, she says, I'm declaring this time next year that I'll be married. And, like she said, a single thing.
Yeah.
I don't remember if it happened that soon.
So let me tell you. Yeah. So the funny thing is, I'm a little bit of a comedian. If I had it in another life, we were like,
we claim it for you.
I was saying a joke because it was Single Sunday, and it was wear your blue and white. I'm up there, my blue and white. So I was kind of like, this is a lot. I'm resigning this blue and white, right? So I said it as a joke. So I did not get married the next year, but that same year was the year I met my husband. I didn't meet him as my husband. I didn't meet him as we met at work.
Okay.
So it's the year he started at the place where I work.
Position.
Wasn't right? Look, he had recently been divorced. Sorry.
Okay.
And I wasn't looking at him that way. I actually didn't like him when I met him. Yeah. But it was not many months later that he was introduced into my sphere. Oh. You know what I mean? And 3 years later, after working together, getting to know each other, that's when, something started to brew. But it was a few months after that sermon.
Telling you, when you
be careful what comes out of your mouth, right?
Just put it in the atmosphere and look at that. The just position and everything just slowly fell into place.
Yeah.
Today dating looks so different, like online apps, social media, ghosting. Mm-hmm. If you were single today, how would you approach dating as a Christian woman?
Yeah. I'm not sure that I would approach it any differently than I did pre-marriage, which was that I didn't. And this is dating according to the gospel of Nicole. I'm not saying it's the standard, but I really I really do have, as independent and accomplished as I am, I do still have a lot of traditional values. And I really believe that when the scripture talks about he that findeth, like that whole pursuing, I really believe that he need to find it, right? So I didn't find, I think I was on back then it was eHarmony and
Christian Mingle
it had just kind of started. And on those sites, if you put in the filter that you want the man to be Christian, two of them would two of them the two men would pop up, and you probably knew one, and he probably wasn't single. That's what it looked like. And so I would have friends who would be like, it's Caravana weekend, put on something cute, come, let's go walk up and down and look nice.
Come on,
girl, there's the barbershop is full, put on your skinny jeans and come.
I got a lot.
We're out, they're like, you've been sitting too long, smize, go smize and mix and mingle, and
same thing.
It did one, I'm an introvert, right? So that's just, it's not even me. And I just honestly, people are like, oh, you need to get out more. I just had the kind of faith that I was like, Lord, if you have to make his car break down in front of my house and simultaneously his phone is dead and he has to ring my doorbell and be like, I'm so sorry to bother you, if that's what I start to do, can you not do that? All of this parading up and down and profiles
and step out of your comfort.
And if you feel led to go on an app, I'm not saying don't do it, right?
Free yourself.
It just wasn't it. It just wasn't it. And I started to look at the people that I knew around me who were married and their stories, and
they have to do that.
And
why do I have to do that?
Why? And he brought him right to my job.
Love that. That is so good. Many women are listening, and majority of them are single, and they're waiting for the one. What encouragement would you give them during their waiting season?
I would say, a lot of times I hear women, they'll often ask, what do I need to do to prepare to be a good wife? So I would say, don't prepare to be a good wife. Prepare to be a good bride.
Ooh.
We are the bride of Christ.
Yes.
And he's coming back for a bride. And if we are preparing to be the bride for the bridegroom who's going to return, any woman who lives her life with singularity, with her focus being on being the best bride of Christ that she can be, how can that woman not be a good wife? How can that woman not be a good mother? How could that woman not be a good business owner? Come on now, right? True. So I think I'd say take the focus off of preparing for a groom and start preparing for the bridegroom, and just living your life with do all the things. I have friends that won't wear certain clothes until the man come, won't buy the house, live. Sometimes now my husband's like, are you sure you want to be married? Because I'm constantly talking about how much fun I had when I was single. I had fun. I lived. The time. Listen.
It's time to do
I had fun. I did the things. I wore the clothes. I took the trips. I wrote the book. So by the time he came,
I totally get that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now is the time, ladies.
Yeah.
The single time is your time to really just, especially to get to know yourself more in that time. So what are some red flags you think women should watch out for in relationships, spiritually, emotionally, and practically? Red flags.
Red flags. I think just as a principle, like look for fruit. You know, I think, so two things. One, look for fruit, and two, believe him. So I'll explain what I mean in both of those. So in look for fruit, when I met my husband, he wasn't no six-figure earner. He is now. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. But he was not when I met him. I was making more money than him.
Yeah.
I was living on my own. He was living in a basement apartment. Like, and I can share this part of his story openly because he shares it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, he was in a situation. And I think that but what I saw was fruit.
Okay.
Right? Like, this man was working two jobs. He was recovering financially from a divorce. So he was taking care of his children. He was prioritizing his home. I remember one time, and this is like with no dating. This is just observing him from afar.
Exactly.
Yeah, we were talking. I can't remember what it was about. And he said something about fasting. And he's like, yeah, because I fast the first, like he'd said, like Tuesday of every month.
Oh, nice. And you're like, oh.
Right? And so I'm noting these things. That this man fasts. This man comes to work on time. This man is doing whatever he has to do to take care of his children. Like, I dated men who were like talking about what they were gonna do, but there was no fruit. There was no proof of I was here, but now I'm here. And if you'd bear with me, I want to be there. So I say look for fruit.
Yes, that's a big one.
Look for fruit. And I think the other one is believe him. Women, we are great at creating mental stories and fairy tales in our mind. If a man hasn't said a thing, believe him. If he says you're just friends, believe him. It doesn't matter that he calls you every morning to say, hey, good morning, have a great day. If he says you all are friends, believe him. It doesn't matter that he showed up at your work with lunch because you said you weren't feeling well. Believe him, right? We look at things and then we get together with our girlfriends who are of likeness. You'd be like, oh, girl, see, he brought you lunch. You just no friend and no. No. Believe him.
The man said we're friends.
Believe him. Believe him, because my experience has been, even if he has a stutter, even if English ain't his first language, if he loves you and he wants to be with you, he will and he will stammer out. He will do it.
It's got to come out.
He will do it.
Yes.
He will do it. My husband and I were working together. Once we were like, okay, something is going on here. But I was like, but we were working together and this, doesn't look too good or whatever. Yeah. And he said, this was before we like formally started dating. He said, then I will get another job. So I said, so you're willing to leave a full-time job with benefits. Suppose we date and realize we don't even really like each other. And he said, you are worth the risk.
Wow.
Don't play with a man that's serious about his, okay? He said, you are worth the risk. And I'm worth the risk. I was worth the risk.
And you're like, okay, bye. Leave your resignation.
That's it. He resigned.
It's worth it.
He resigned.
That's how you know.
He resigned. The next job paid him more than where he was. He was at that job not very long. He hated it. And so he found another job. And that job paid him more than that job. And while he was there, the job he actually really wanted reached out to him. And then that job paid him more. And I remember he invited me to go with him to, it was downtown to the head office to where he had to sign the employment contract. And I went with him. And this was we were still in the dating phase at this point. And I remember I walked up and down Wellington in front of the building, and I decreed. Don't play with me.
You know what you're going to say.
Don't play with the woman of God and I said, I speak divine acceleration. I said, this isn't even your job. They're going to have to develop a position for you. I said, divine acceleration. And within a year, the man had been promoted 2 times and was out earning me by the time we got married.
Oh my gosh. I got goosebumps.
Believe
Oh my
him.
gosh.
Look for fruit. Believe him.
Love that.
Yeah.
You see, and he said that you were worth it, and he
Yeah.
just went out. He didn't even know that these were going to be the thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have to step out.
Yeah. He
Step
that
in.
findeth, he that findeth, he initiated, he that findeth a wife, findeth a good thing and obtains favor of the Lord.
Amen.
Yeah.
Love that. I know y'all got goosebumps from that one. You know, like on the flip side, what are some green flags that points to a healthy, God-centered partner? I believe you touch on a little bit in your answer there, but any other green flags that you could say that we should see and be like, you know, this is, someone I should consider maybe exploring.
He doesn't keep you a secret.
That's a big one.
Yes.
That's a big one.
Yes. Yes. He brings you around friends and family. Right? He doesn't take long to define what's
going
and
on
what.
here.
Yeah. He's not afraid of conversations about commitment. You know, this feeling of, oh, I don't want to bring up because I don't want to scare him away. If you're bringing up the future with him, you know, like, yeah, like he's not afraid. He initiates those conversations. Yeah. And some of like what I said, like you see fruit, you know, like he's moving towards something in his life. He's moving towards something with you. He has a relationship with the Lord. Like, I'm not talking about he goes to church. Yeah. Right. True. And you know, like when I met my husband, I was already an ordained minister. That's right. But I didn't need a minister. People always wondered what kind of man I would marry. But like I didn't need a minister. Like I love tattoos. I always thought like my husband would have like tattoos coming up his neck and like all this, you know, the bad boy of the church. But like I didn't need him to be a minister. I was just like, I need him to have a relationship with Jesus Christ. What did that mean for me? That means that his life looks like he has been with Jesus. You know, does he handle conflict well? Yeah, that's a big one. Yeah, like what's he like when he gets angry? Like he seeks resolution when you guys fight. You know? Yeah. Those are some. You know, argumented with each other and just upset at each other. Yeah, those are definitely some of the flags I'd say look out for. Those are really good green flags. Love that. What's a funny or memorable story from your dating married life that always makes you laugh to this day that you could share with us? A funny story. I don't know, because we're always laughing, eh? Isn't that the best thing when you can laugh with them, you know, when you can laugh with your partner? Like I told you, in my next life, I'm coming back as a comedian. So like, we're always that. You have to, well, maybe something to cut. Go to the next one and we'll circle back. Something will come. I can't think of like a one. There's too many. One story. That just, you guys are always laughing. Yeah. It's good when you have that partner that you can always laugh. And I love to laugh, so definitely. Your girly lifestyle and some little fun. You know, let's get a little girly with you. What's one self-care routine or ritual that makes you feel refreshed? Washing my hair. Yeah, I always feel like a new person when I wash my hair. Like washing my hair. Also, like I love a bath. So like bubble baths. Yeah, like I'm junglifying my tub. So like I have like plants growing. You're junglifying. Yeah, my bathroom. Yeah, so like around the tub, like I want like a mini jungle. Like so I feel like I'm bathing outdoors. Right. Yeah. So like I fill up the tub, the candles, and all the scents, and you know, and all of that stuff going. Like that's one of the. So it's just things. Like the plants you have, and that's how you're set candles. Up. Yeah, there's candles. Yeah, there's like plants and candles like all around. And there's a window above my tub too. So there's like plants. Like there's a ivy, a creeping all across. Real things. Yeah, snake plants in the corner. So. Yeah, so when I get in there, it just feels like a little oasis. Oh, nice. Yeah. That's unique. That's different. If you had like girls' night in, what are 3 things that would definitely be a part of it?
You've had a few little girls.
Always.
Nights.
Well,
Yep.
yes.
Yes.
My first official ladies' night in was
Yes.
when we were together. When I used to do it at the hotel before I had my own place, and we'd do it at the hotel. So I
Yes.
still do those girls' nights and food. I'm a foodie. I love my
I'm a
belly.
foodie too.
I love my belly.
Yes.
I don't know if it's spiritual to say that. It probably is not, but I do have a problem. But I love good, not just food.
Food. Yeah.
I mean, like good
Good
food.
food.
Yeah, like so quality good food is definitely going to be there. Music, I like to shake my little body. Those who know me intimately know, like I'm always being mildly inappropriate. There's that word again.
Mildly.
They didn't know what to do with it. Mildly inappropriate. So there's gonna be music. There's gonna be movement. There's gonna be good food.
She's a foodie.
Yeah.
Hey. All right, rapid fire. Just let me know which one of the answers best suits you. We're going with heels or sneakers?
These days, sneakers.
Sneakers.
These days.
And the ones she got on right now, they are so cute. Those are very nice. Coffee or tea?
Tea, 100%. And I'm bougie, so it's got to be loose leaf.
Loose leaf.
Has to be loose leaf. If it's been sitting on a shelf somewhere,
Yeah, you know what? A little tea. No.
Tetley, Red Rose, sorry, it's not doing it.
I was going to say peppermint or she's like, no, loose leaf. So you're like a Starbucks or Tim Hortons?
Not even.
No?
Not even.
Not even second?
No, not
Which
even.
one out?
So it's my favorite is Sloan. That's my favorite go-to brand. And there's another one. I think it's called Elora teas. I'm probably getting it wrong, but yeah, like
Those are top of top.
yeah,
teas. Okay.
yeah. Those are the kind of tea where you can steep it and you can do a 3 pots and still get that fragrance and flavor.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you an early morning devotion person or a late night journaling person?
Both.
All right, elaborate a little for me.
So I'm an early morning, talk to God before my feet touch the ground kind of person.
Yes.
But usually midday or at the end of the day, I also like to talk to God through journaling. Yeah.
I'm a late night journaler.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, your legacy and your impact that you're leaving, because you've started, I look at it as a movement, what you're doing, especially pouring into women that really want to learn the management of time and so forth. What legacy do you want to leave, not just through your books and speaking, but in how people remember you?
How do I want to be remembered? Oh my gosh. Wow. I just feel like it's going to be playing at my funeral someday. And don't worry, I'm like morbid like that. I have a file called Funeral where I'm like, this song will be real nice when they bring it in my casket. It's real nice. So, but how do I want to be remembered? I want to be remembered as someone who lived fearlessly.
Yes.
And that fearlessness incited the same courage and confidence in other women. Yeah.
That's perfect. It really sums you up. I was thinking that you are so fearless.
Thank you.
What's next? Like what's a dream project or vision you believe God is pushing you towards in the coming year?
Yeah. The 2 big things right now is health and home. So you asked about rest and self-care and routines, and God just really has me in a sabbatical season of it's just a season of rest and healing and health. And we're a blended family of 5 kids.
Yes.
And so I feel like it's like pushing season. Like my motherhood cap is on tighter than it's ever been. Our youngest just turned 15. So we're trying to 15, 16, we're trying to get them out, through high school successfully. And then the who's next? Then the 18 and 24-year-old who has finished, we're trying to push them through figuring out what to do. And then the 26-year-old, we're trying to get him just healing and focused on his manhood and identity. And so there's just a lot of mama work in this season, and I've shifted gears, and I'm learning to do that with pride and with honor and with the same fervence that I wrote books and mounted, pulpits. I want to mother with the same intensity. And then the second thing, so health and home and writing. Still writing.
Gotta keep writing.
I really feel like there's an oil on my life to write in this season, and I'm running with it.
Yes. You have a lot more books to come. I can see that for you. For someone listening today who's stuck in comparison, fear, or confusion, what's one step they can take towards living boldly?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that usually, we hear about imposter syndrome. Is what we've labeled it nowadays. And really what that is the room recognizing who we are before we do. Right. And so if we can hold on to that and step with that, you know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of times we want to wait until we see it clearly, until we feel it boldly. But I always describe it this way. If you saw like your next steps on a billboard, but it's blurry. Like if I stay here and I keep squinting, it's never gonna get any clearer.
I have to go a little bit.
I have to get closer. And so I say to that woman, like, if it's blurry, if you're unsure, you sense God calling you in a direction, but it's just not all the pieces of it lined up, take a step. Take a step. You're just never going to get clearer standing there. The prophecy is not going to just land in your lap, and the information isn't just there. But as you move in the direction that you sense God leading you, you get closer and closer. Then you go, all of a sudden, the things start to make sense and plug in. So I say to that woman, listen, the room already knows you're it. So just start moving in the direction.
Start moving in that direction.
Yeah.
I really love that. We got to go back to that question before I get to the book in your hand. What's the funny or memorable story? You were supposed to be thinking of one.
I
don't want to leave it.
Okay, funny story. Oh, okay. So we were dating. This is what I'm like. You're dating when. We were dating, and I was hanging out at his place, and I got sick. Like, we were like watching a movie, and when you just feel the cold coming down on you. And I just got really, really sick. And so he made me, we both come from Jamaican parentage, so he crushed up garlic and lemon and all the whole concoction. And he gave that to me to drink, and then I just knocked out. Like, I was sweating it. I knocked out, and I fell asleep. But then.
Here we go. I'm not ready yet. You snored.
I started passing gas in my sleep, and it was the most garlicky, embarrassing, and it was like all night I was passing this garlicky.
You sure this?
Yeah. And then I woke up, and I was like, wow, like, if you can be sick with your person and it just be like, and he was not
say nothing.
Girl, he woke up and made me porridge, and it was just like, oh my gosh, I fell asleep at this man's house. I'm sweaty, I'm garlicky, so I think that's a funny memory.
That's definitely a keeper. That didn't scare me, didn't be like,
no, and I'm like, I think we're officially a couple. Like, it's official.
Is it too much? No,
you've seen it all. Like, you've seen it all.
I have to keep you.
I have to keep you.
Oh my God.
Like, you can't go anywhere with those. But I mean, I just shared it on your podcast, so like, everybody, all my business. Now you got just all my business out in the street.
See what I mean by raw? Authentic people. We're keeping it raw and real for you. It doesn't get any better than that. Now, the book that you have, and you can just show our viewers. You want to read a little snippet from it?
I thought about. So on the topic of, authenticity, chapter 4, I believe, is this chapter 4? I think it's chapter 4 of the book. I talk about the box that you were given. But anyways, I'll read this portion. So this is me talking about the first time I had, as a single mom, that I had the summer off because my dad took my son, and I was left alone for the first time after years of mothering
with them. Yes.
Here we go. So the Apostle Paul wrote, "But he said to me, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly of my weakness, so that the power of Christ may rest upon upon me. 2 Corinthians 12:9. And then I write, you need God's grace to muster up the courage to unpack your divorce, betrayal, abuse, breakup, sickness, child's death, unwanted pregnancy, financial hardship, flunking out of school, being let down by a parent, failing to live up to your own or others' expectations, or simply life plans that didn't go your way. This does not only apply to past experiences. With every new impactful moment, you will need to pause and reposition yourself so that your created identity remains clear and not crushed, because clarity gives you the ability to choose wisely.
Love that. Clarity gives you the ability to choose wisely.
Yeah.
And where can people find your book?
Everywhere books are sold: Amazon, Indigo, Barnes and Nobles if you're in the States, and if you libraries, and if you walk into your local chapters and it's not there, tell them to get it there. But yeah, anywhere you would normally get your books, you can get yourself a copy of Courage and Confidence.
Courage and Confidence. I hope you guys enjoyed that little snippet from the book, Courage and Confidence. This brings us to a segment of our show called Good Things Are Coming. And it's a segment of our show where we leave our listeners or viewers with a positive affirmation to get you through the week. So I'm going to start off by saying one, and then I'll ask Nicole to do one as well. Good things are coming because God is still writing your story and he's not done with you yet. Nicole, just go ahead with a little good things are coming, ...
Yeah, good things are coming because where you are is not who you are.
Ooh, snap. Love that. Love that. This was good. Honestly, it was so refreshing to have you share your story, your journey, and where you're coming from. I just really, it's such an honor to have you in my studio today, and hoping that we'll be able to connect in November. I'm going to sign up for that.
Yes,
I'm definitely going to sign up for that. Yes. So thank you so much for joining me today, and your wisdom, your authenticity, and your ways of how you pour into us has been such a blessing.
Thank you.
And I know our listeners are walking away with something they can apply to their own lives right now. Keep shining, keep leading, and keep living so boldly and beautifully. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, so my listeners, don't forget to subscribe below so that you don't miss any episode. Until next time, bye for now.